Hey, it's Don Skaggs again with Empowered Inventing, the one place where we try to help you help other people by taking your innovation, some of the right opportunities, and some sound wisdom, mixing them together and turning them into real things like products and businesses. Now, I've got a question for you today that I want you to think about, and that is your idea for a product or business frozen in time? And you might ask, well, what do I mean by that? Well, there's several ways you can just be frozen or stuck in your business, your startup, your invention, and you could be stuck in just maybe one step of the process. Maybe you're at this step and you're in the step. Maybe it's a comfort zone step and you're just not moving forward. Maybe you're afraid of the next step. Maybe you're afraid or you just don't know what the next step is. Or maybe you just can't seem to get any momentum. You can't seem to get traction. You try, you're trying to move forward, but you just can't. You don't seem to be making any progress. Or maybe you're in a funk and you just can't get out of it. You're just kind of like, oh gosh, I'm not excited about this anymore, and I just don't want to get up and do this next thing. But for whatever reason, you have found yourself to where your idea for your product or startup is frozen in time. It is stuck. You're in the same place you were a month ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, maybe even a year ago. Well, if that's you, I've got some things to talk to you about. Because the way sometimes that you're looking at it, and this is what we say a lot of times, is if we can change your behaviors, if we can change the way you see things, and then by the way you're seeing things, the way you interact with them, if we can change that. Because a lot of times what you're looking at and how you're looking at something could be the key to what's holding you back. Now, let me tell you a great example of this. One is don't freeze people or situations in time. Do you ever have that, maybe that brother that you remember him when he was 7 and you kind of think of him as the 7-year-old, but he's 47? And you're like, but you still think about him that way. You still kind of think of that brother as 7 years old and not 47 years old. And that could be bad in a relationship. You're thinking of somebody of who they are not now. And it's good to remember stuff, but if you're freezing that, if you're focused on that, that can be bad. And that can be bad in business relationships as well. But sometimes we do that with situations, and we'll freeze a situation in time. And what do I mean by that? Well, don't let past successes or failures hold your focus. And a lot of times a past failure, it could be the idea you had before that just crashed and burned. It could be a startup that just did not work out. And I've had those. I know that feeling of where, oh gosh, I don't want to repeat this, and you're worried that you're going to repeat this, and when you're doing your next thing, and all the little things that happen, the little failures that happen, they all happen to everybody along the way. All those little failures will make you think about that big one you had before, and it makes you, oh no, is this going to happen again? And it makes you gun shy to move forward, and that can freeze you in time. So don't let a past failure hold you back, and you're focused on that and you're not focused on the present. Now, what do I mean by successes, past successes holding you back? I've seen this happen with businesses before, where a business is doing really good. They came up with a great idea. They solved a lot of people's problems. They were making money. They were helping a lot of people. They were just doing so well. And they were doing so well, and they were so focused on that, they weren't paying attention to the present and what was going on and what was happening and what was beginning to change in their industry. And before they knew it, they were so focused on the past successes that they failed to watch and see their business dry up in the present because of the changes that were going on, and they didn't pivot, they didn't watch, they didn't have their ear to the ground, they weren't watching, listening to customers and what their true pain points were, they weren't paying attention to competitors in the market, they didn't see things start to change. Because in business, technology, all of it, everything is constantly changing. Everything's constantly moving. And you could ride along for a while on a really good success, but you've always got to be watching what the next thing is, because the next thing can all of a sudden turn you into the horse and buggy whip salesman at the advent of the automobile. So don't let a past success or a past failure. And when I say failure, remember this: don't stay frozen in time of your worst moments. And we've all had them. We've all had just really bad stuff that happens. And if we take that and we just focus on that, it will color our present and keep us from moving forward. I've seen it happen. Don't let that happen to you. So the way you're looking at it could be holding you back. So I want you to just take stock and think about how you're looking at things, how you're seeing things, what you're focusing on, and make it more present than it is past. Now, another thing is, don't let the unknown keep you stuck in one place. And I've seen that happen too. The fear of not knowing, and what I mean by that, there's several things I mean by that. One is that the fear of not knowing what's going to happen next. And I've seen that with inventors. It's, well, I don't know, Don. I don't know. It's, if I do this, it's going to be a risk. What if somebody knocks me off? What if somebody does this? What if this happens? What if that happens? Well, what if I can't do that? There's always what ifs. And if you focus on those what ifs, it can freeze you. It can stop you. It can lock you up and lock up the progress of your idea for your business or startup. So take the risks, but take the ones you can recover from. So the fear of not knowing what's going to happen. Don't let it lock you up. And another fear of not knowing is the fear of not knowing how to do something. And I've seen this with especially with a lot of inventors, is they're in the step of usually what their comfort zone is, and they're stuck there. It's like, well, yeah, I know how to do this all day long, and they keep doing it all day long, day after day, and all of a sudden, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year passes, and they're in that same step. Why? Because they're comfortable there and they're uncomfortable in whatever that next step's going to be. If you've seen our idea steps, you know what I'm talking about. We have steps that you take, good, simple things you can take right in the right order. But a lot of people will stop on a certain step and they'll be afraid because the next one is kind of uncomfortable. Maybe they just don't know how to learn to do those things. Well, you can learn how to do those things. And if you don't want to do them yourself, you should still learn them well enough so when you outsource them, you are speaking intelligently and you know what you're buying. Never purchase anything that you don't completely understand. That's another thing we teach in a lot of our classes. So learn how to do these things, or learn how to learn them well enough so you can outsource them comfortably. Now, another thing is that you need people. People are important. I can't say that enough. You have to be around people. Find your local inventor group. Come to one of our online classes at Inventors Network Online at kyinventors.org. You can get around people who are like-minded, who aren't going to be naysayers, who are going to help you and give you positive input and help you. So you need people. People are important. People are going to give you feedback. If you stay in that little bubble universe, you'll not get any input and you really won't learn anything. Even if you think you are, you're not. You've got to have people. So have a plan, have deadlines, have milestones. So if you fail to plan, you will plan to fail. And that locks you up worse than anything. So have these deadlines, have these milestones, have this diligence where you're moving forward and you're getting some traction with your idea for your invention, your startup, your business, and it will help you a lot, I think. I know it has me, and I know it has a lot of other inventors I've worked with. So again, I'm Don Skaggs. This is Empowered Inventing TV is what you're watching. And check out our website, empoweredinventing.com. And I will look to see you at our next meeting, workshop, maybe one of our online classes, or on the next video.